بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم إني أسألك وأتوجه إليك بنبيك نبي الرحمة محمد صلى الله عليه وآله. يا أبا القاسم يا رسول الله، يا إمام الرحمة يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا. يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا الحسن يا أمير المؤمنين، يا علي بن أبي طالب، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا. يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. يا فاطمة الزهراء يا بنت محمد، يا قرة عين الرسول، يا سيدتنا ومولاتنا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا. يا وجيهة عند الله اشفعي لنا عند الله. يا أبا محمد يا حسن بن علي، أيها المجتبى يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا. يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا عبد الله يا حسين بن علي، أيها الشهيد يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا. يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن الحسين يا زين العابدين يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا جعفر يا محمد بن علي أيها الباقر يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا عبد الله يا جعفر بن محمد أيها الصادق يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا الحسن يا موسى بن جعفر أيها الكاظم يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن موسى أيها الرضا يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا جعفر يا محمد بن علي أيها التقي الجواد يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا. يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن محمد أيها الهادي النقي يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا. يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا محمد يا حسن بن علي أيها الزكي العسكري يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا. يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. يا وصي الحسن والخلف الحجة أيها القائم المنتظر المهدي يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا. يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله، يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله، يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. سلوا حوائجكم فإنها مقضية بإذن الله. يا سادتي وموالي إني توجهت بكم أئمتي ليوم فقري وحاجتي إلى الله، وتوسلت بكم إلى الله، واستشفعت بكم إلى الله، فاشفعوا لي عند الله، واستنقذوني من ذنوبي عند الله، فإنكم وسيلتي إلى الله، وبحبكم وبقربكم أرجو نجاة من الله، فكونوا عند الله رجائي يا سادتي يا أولياء الله، صلى الله عليهم أجمعين. آمين رب العالمين. وصل اللهم على سيدنا محمد وآله الطاهرين.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والحمد لله رب العالمين. صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ومولاي يا رسول الله. صلى الله عليك يا سيدي وعلى أهل بيتك المعصومين المنتجبين. صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ومولاي يا أبا عبد الله. صلى الله عليك يا ابن رسول الله. صلى الله عليك وعلى جدك وأبيك وعلى أمك وأخيك وعلى الأئمة من بنيك. صلى الله عليك وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك وأناخت برحلك يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة. يا غريب يا مظلوم كربلاء، ما خاب يا سيدي من تمسك بكم، وأمن من لجأ إليكم. يا ليتنا يا ليتنا يا سيدي كنا معكم فنفوز فوزا عظيما. إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. ونريد أن نمن على الذين استضعفوا في الأرض ونجعلهم أئمة ونجعلهم الوارثين ونمكن لهم في الأرض. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in this verse in the Holy Quran, and we wanted to confer favor upon those who were oppressed in the land and make them leaders and make them inheritors and establish them in the land. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this verse, He promises those who were oppressed that one day they will become the inheritors, and one day He will establish them on earth or in the land. They will have the power, they will be empowered to establish the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the land the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants it to be, so they can be the inheritors and they can be the leaders. نَجْعَلَهُمْ أَئِمَّةً وَنَجْعَلَهُمُ الْوَارِثِينَ. Allah promises here to make them the leaders. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with this promise, He is setting up a goal, an end for the believer's mind, for those who are oppressed throughout time because of the faith they have, because of their decision to follow the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and all the oppression and all the oppression that they might face on earth because of their faith. Allah says here and promises them that put in your mind that the end goal and the end result is going to be in your favor. Here, brothers and sisters, there's an important concept that we need to shed light on in our daily life. Something that is very useful and beneficial for us as human beings, and is going to grant us success not only in our faith but also in this life, whether it's in our livelihood, in our businesses, in our education, and so on. That concept that's important, it's a mindset that we need to have in our mind. It's a way of thinking, it's a methodology of thinking that we need to always embed in ourselves. In different books of management and leadership and self-development and personal skills, this concept is mentioned and emphasized on. In a book which is called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, this concept is named and titled as Begin with the End in Mind. You see, brothers and sisters, we always try to plan ahead of time. We always plan what's our next step. When we enter school, we plan the year, the coming few years. When we decide and choose a major for the university, we are actually planning for the coming few years what to study, how to study, and what are the topics and subjects and the location, and so on. When we want to buy a home or construct a home, we also plan. We go and try to find the best location. We do our search. We try to identify the size of the home that's suitable for us and the house that's suitable for us, and so on. When we want to take a vacation, even if the vacation is a small vacation, a small trip, we also plan. We plan our trip by buying the tickets, identifying the cities that we want to visit, the mode of transportation, whether it's plane, train, the mode of transportation inside the city. Are we going to rent a car? Are we going to use the train in the city? And so on. So by default, we are goal-oriented beings. We have a goal in our mind and we plan our steps towards this goal. Whether that goal is a simple goal or a big goal, doesn't matter. It can be as simple as having a meal, having our lunch, our dinner. We plan very briefly. We decide where to buy from or how to cook and so on. Or it can be something about our career in the future career plan. Where are we going to reach? What type of career we want to decide and choose. So it's very important that we realize that we as human beings, that our default mindset is a goal-oriented mindset. In order for us to understand this mindset, let's do this exercise together. I want you to start contemplating and thinking and reflecting what you have done during the past year. So from today and 1 year before today, the whole past year, the past 12 months, what have we done? What have we accomplished? What are the things that we can remember that we've done? Whether it's in education or in career or spiritual or our faith, whatever, the different things that we have done. Let's reflect. Let's try to remember and think. Of course, you can take this exercise at home and continue it in detail. The next step is to try to think what you want to do the coming year. Let's imagine all together. What is it that we're going to achieve or want to achieve the coming year? Now that we know what happened during the past year, what is that we want to achieve, what is it, and what are the things or what are the goals that we want to achieve for the whole coming year. If we are in the university, do you want to go further? In a sense, do you want to study the next year? What are the subjects we want to take? What are the classes we want to take? Which professors we want to take the courses with? And so on. If it's in our career, what are the projects that we're going to be in charge of? What are the different steps we want to take to develop our career? Are we going to continue with the same firm that we are working with? Or if it's a business, are we going to expand? Are we going to continue? Are there the things that are there different things that we want to emphasize to actually change and edit and make better within our business? And so on. Or if it's our faith, how we evaluate our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our prayers, our fastings, our du'as, recitation of the Holy Quran. What are the things we want to emphasize and make better? Do you want to read some new books, learn more about the Prophet, about Ahlul Bayt, strengthen our relationship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and so on? What are the things we need to plan? We need to imagine after 1 year what type of a human being we want to be. In other words, after 1 year, if we start thinking the way that we are thinking now about the last year, what are the things that we want to remember? And then we start planning for it. This is called beginning with an end in mind. You need to imagine the end the way it is in your mind. In 1 year, in 2 years, in 5 years, in 10 years, what is the end that you want to have in your mind? You need to imagine it in detail. And try to take the path and plan how to reach that end. This is a very powerful exercise that if we practice periodically and make sure that we always have an image, a detailed image in our mind of how should we reach the end, then we'll be able to plan it the best way possible. An artist, when he wants to start a painting, to paint a painting, he needs to imagine that image that he wants to paint with all the details. So he starts planning his painting, the way he scratches it, the way he draws it, the way he paints it, and so on. When he has the complete image in his mind, when he starts with that complete image in his mind, and he can imagine it fully before his eyes, then he will be able to draw the best drawing possible in a way that when he plans all the steps, all the paintings, all the colors, and so on, he plans it the best way possible so he can reach the best result based on what he decided to do. Now, someone might ask, why should we do this? Why should we begin with an end in our mind? Why should we imagine an end and then plan for it? Why don't we be kind of spontaneous and just let the life take us wherever it takes us? Where our life is full of crossroads. We are always faced with different options and different opportunities. When we grow up, as we are starting to grow up, we decide, should we enter school or not? When we finish high school, we decide, should we start working or enter university? When we finish university, we decide, should we do higher education or go and find a job? When it comes to our career, we decide, should we be employed or start our own businesses? When we are employed, we decide which type of company and where and what city, and so on. There are always different opportunities in our life. If we don't start and decide based on an end in our mind, we will not be able to make the best decision, and we will not be able to reach what we want really. Because if we don't decide our own future, someone else will do. Another person will do, and others will do it for us. How? When I own a business, for example, and I have an end in my mind, that I want this business to be developed in the way XYZ, Then when I hire different staff and employees, it's always the end in my mind that will drive me to drive the staff and the employees to make the business successful. If any of these staff or employees, they don't have a future or a plan for their own future, they are in a journey with my future, not their own. So similarly, if I join and I start working for someone, or if I started going to help someone or implement someone else's future, suddenly after 5, 10, 20 years, I will realize I wasn't planning my own future. I was also only helping someone else, and I was only building the future for someone else. So here, I'm not the one who's actually driving the car towards my own future. I'm allowing others to drive the car for me and take me to the destinations that they want to take. And this can be very dangerous. If you are lucky, by chance, then probably you'll find someone who has a great future and he's driving your future towards something good. However, that's a high risk, because most probably, most of the people, they will be driving their own future only. And you will be only a tool in their own success. You will not have your own success story. And that can be not only in the business, in the career, in our livelihood. It can be also in our faith and religion. Because there are type of people who give up their akhirah for the sake of this dunya. But there are type of people who give up their akhirah for the sake of other people's dunya. And the Imam describes them as mal'uneen. These are the cursed people, deprived from Allah's mercy, because they decide to give up their akhirah, not for their own dunya, for someone else's dunya. Those who fought our beloved Imam al-Hussein in the army of the enemies of Allah, in the army of Yazid, they give up their akhirah for whose? For someone else's dunya, for Yazid's dunya, for Amr ibn Sa'd's dunya, for Ibn Ziyad's dunya. These people did not have an end goal in their mind to plan for the hereafter the way that they should. They left it for someone else, and that someone else, he sold his hereafter for this dunya. So he's gaining something in this dunya, something that's temporary, something that's short. However, this soldier in the camp of the enemies of Allah, he gave up his akhirah for someone else's dunya. So he lost his dunya and his akhirah. In a similar fashion, we find the wife of our beloved Imam al-Hassan, the one that we commemorate his martyrdom tonight. His wife, when she poisoned Imam al-Hassan, seeking something for this dunya, however, she gained nothing. She lost her akhirah, she lost her dunya. She was working for someone else's future, someone else's goal, not her own. So it's very important to ask ourselves and realize, when we face these crossroads in our life, how we are facing them, why we choose what we choose, why we decide what we decide. Are we deciding for our own benefit, or for someone else's benefit? Are we deciding for our friends or for ourselves? Are we helping our community or no? Are we standing for a principle or no? Is it going to be something that's going to build my hereafter? That's something that's going to be good for my hereafter? Something that's going to be good for my dunya, to make me stronger and to make me better, so I can build for my hereafter or no? All these questions we need to ask ourselves. One of the key questions also, when we ask ourselves and when we decide about these crossroads, is about friendships. We always we find lots of friends around us. We choose our friends around us. And a friend is a key person, is a person who has a powerful influence on us. A close friend can dictate our habits, our attitude, our reputation, the direction in my life. Choosing a friend is something that's key and important, because a friend will help me to reach to my goal as much as I help him to reach his. A friend will not betray me, in a sense. He will not try to use me as a tool for his own success and his own goal only. He's going to ask for my help, ask for my support, but also he's going to be someone who's going to look after me and try to help me to find my own goal, my own end, and to imagine that end, and helps me also to reach that end. Our beloved Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, he says, tell me who your friends are and I will tell you who you are. We find and know the person by knowing his friends, the people who are around him and surrounding him. It's very important. When we choose our friends, we need to choose the right people to help us in this journey, in this life. Now, we ask ourselves, what is the best way? What is the possible way that we have to start with the end in mind? How can I start having this mindset? How can I make this a habit of mine, that I always think with an end goal in my mind? It starts first with building our own mission statement. Yes, our own mission statement. It's not only companies and organizations that they have their own mission statements. We as individuals also we have our own mission statements. We write our own mission statements and we build our own mission statements. How can we write our own mission statement? Well, there are a few easy steps that if we practice, we'll be able to compose a good mission statement. One is to collect 5 inspiring quotes, 5 ahadith, 5 verses of the Quran, 5 inspiring quotes. For example, the verse that we started with today, وَنَرِيدُ أَن نَمُنَّ عَلَى الَّذِينَ اسْتُضْعِفُوا. It's an inspiring quote. It's a quote that gives us hope, that despite being oppressed, there is hope for us, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised us. There are certain quotes by our beloved Imams, verses and quotations and traditions by our beloved Imams that we can always use, something that inspires us for the future. How to build our future. How to understand what's better and what's best for us. How to always remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Different verses, different quotes, different traditions and narrations from the Imam. Try to bring 5 that inspires you, that moves you, that gives you direction in your life. These become the principles and the values that we're going to put and surround our mission statement when we write it. Then we need to start what we call speed writing. In a sense, take 15 minutes to write your own mission, what you want to achieve in life. I want to become the best professor in engineering. I want to become the best engineer in the world. I want to become the best surgeon in the world. I want to become the best businessman. I want to build one of the multi-billion-dollar businesses, and so on. Write them down. I want to become the best worshipper. I want to become the best reciter of the Holy Quran. I want to become the best and the closest person to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I want to become a scholar. I want to become a religious guide, and so on. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Just write them down. For 15 minutes, keep writing and writing and writing. Just write different sentences on different directions. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be organized. It doesn't have to be full sentences. Just ideas, maybe a few words, and so on. For 15 minutes, write. Then stop. Now, You have a bulk of ideas and bulk of statements and bulk of goals and objectives. Now try to arrange them and edit them. Try to compress them all for 15 minutes and organize them all in order and structure them. Now before you is something that's very important. It's your dreams, things that you like to achieve, things that you want to achieve, things that you want to establish. When you do all that, try to compress all within few line sentence. 1 or 2 sentences within a few lines. This becomes your mission statement. Of course, don't stop there. This is not Quran, this is not a constitution. This is something that you can edit, change. After a few weeks, visit it again. Think about it, reflect on it, update it, and come to it periodically. Now, every week, every day, every month, every quarterly, every 3 months, you can review it and see whatever you achieved in life, whatever decision you made in life, does it fulfill this mission statement or no? Does it take you towards this mission statement or not? If not, then you need to change something in your life. You need to change the path that you are taking. Or maybe you discovered that this mission statement wasn't the best. That means you need to change the mission statement. Of course, it should not become a habit of changing the mission statement every time because of the circumstances. You need to have control over the circumstances by your mission statement, not the other way around. Don't let the circumstances dictate your mission statement. You dictate the circumstances that you go through. You dictate the direction that you go through your own mission statement. Of course, also it's very good that to plan an annual retreat for yourself, to contemplate and reflect about your mission statement. Somewhere you take a leave for a day or 2, somewhere isolated, somewhere that you can focus and reflect. Maybe take a friend with you, a friend or 2 that you trust, a guide, a mentor, a family member that they always espouse, that they're always there for you, they help you, they share your life, they are partnering in your life also. It's always useful to compose your own mission statement, your family mission statement, your work and business mission statement, and so on. Maybe you have multiple ones. One is focused, one is broader, and each one of them help each other. Each mission statement supports the other mission statement. So you have a complete cycle in life. You have a direction that you can take. So it's very important to create this. Of course, when we create our mission statements, when we start implementing and pushing, there are always roadblocks. There are always ideas that's going to stop us. This whole mindset of having a goal, an end goal, will have ideas that will resist and will try to stop the development and stop achieving them. As we are trying to make it a habit of ours to gain the mindset of end goal and starting with an end, there are roadblocks. 1, negative labels. People might call us with negative labels. People might say, "Are you crazy? What are you doing?" Always remember, the Prophet ﷺ, when he started his journey, when he started inviting people to his message, when he started the tabligh, what did people call him? People called him Majnoon, insane, crazy. But that did not stop the Prophet, because he had an end in his mind. He had an end goal. He knew that he is planning for that day. The day that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reveal the verse, "Al-yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum." From the day one, the Prophet knew that he's planning to deliver a complete faith, a complete religion for the humanity. To deliver Islam as a faith for the humanity. So he did not care about these negative labels. People calling him Majnoon, crazy, insane, failure. He did not care. He had an end goal in his mind and he went for it. Another negative or dangerous roadblock is the whole "it's all over" syndrome. It's all over mindset. You hit a roadblock in your journey as you go, and then you think it's over, that you cannot achieve your goal. That's it for you. You give up. You submit, you surrender. It's too late. No, it's never too late. وَنُرِيدُ أَن نَمُنَّ عَلَى الَّذِينَ اسْتُضْعِفُوا. We want to give those oppressed one. We want to give them a favor. The end goal is the return of our beloved Imam. The end goal is to have the 12 Imam. A roadblock like Karbala will not stop that. Imagine the life of Lady Zainab. Imagine Lady Zainab in the land of Karbala on the 10th day of Muharram. All the ashab of Imam al-Hussein are murdered. All the household, Ali al-Akbar, al-Qasim, al-Abbas, and all other Hashimis, they are killed in the land of Karbala, slaughtered in the land of Karbala. And she is witnessing our beloved Imam al-Hussein falling. Does she give up? No. Because she does not have that it's all over mindset. She has a goal. She knows that her mission starts now and she needs to continue. She needs to push. She is the one who's going to be the protector of the tragedy and what happened in Karbala, and take it with her to Kufa, to Sham, to Medina, and different places. She's the one who's going to have the patience. You will face these moments that you will think it's all over. It's not. Remember Ahlul Bayt. Remember their patience. It's not over. There's always opportunity. There's always a chance. If there is a will, there is an opportunity. We create our own opportunities by the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah will bless us if we have a will. He will give us the ability to create the opportunity if we want to. Ahlul Bayt face lots of struggles. But what happened throughout time? Where are their enemies and where are they? Their message continues. Their journey continues. Allah promises that the return will happen and they will be successful. Their enemies are gone. Dynasty after dynasty after dynasty. They're all gone. The message of their enemy stopped with their death, but the message of Ahlul Bayt continues. So we need to remember, when we hit these walls, these wrong walls, wrong directions, when we hit big failures, it's not all over. No, we should continue our path. And as we are putting our plan for this mission statement, for this end goal, we need to remember and realize something. First, we need to count the cost. What is it that I'm giving? The time, the money, the efforts, all the resources that I'm giving to achieve this end. Is it worth it or not? Am I giving my akhirah for it? Or no? This is something that's going to help me in my akhirah. Because if I'm giving my akhirah, it's a high cost. I need to be aware and careful. Or no, this is something that's going to help me to build my akhirah. So it's high benefit. Here we need to do cost-benefit analysis. Second, we need to make sure that we always put it in writing. Our end goal, put it in writing. Because in writing, when you describe it, you will capture the details, the image in your mind, the end goal in your mind. When it's in your mind, you'll be distracted. The idea will fade away, the details will fade away. You need to have the details. Put it in writing, your plan, your end goal. That will help you achieve it better and better. Third, just do it. Go for it. Don't look behind. We all know the famous story of Tariq ibn Ziyad. When he faced the enemies and he had the goal to fight the enemies and overtake, he burned all the ships. So he does not even distract himself of thinking to go back. There's only one direction. We need to just do it. We need to just go for it and forget about the other opportunities. Because we decided to choose this opportunity based on the goal that we decided for ourselves. After the cost-benefit analysis, we know that this is something good for us, inshallah. So let's just do it. Let's have tawakkul ala Allah, dependency on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He's going to grant us the tawfiq, and we need to just go for it. We need to make sure that we just go for it. And always plan different phases and have moments. See, our life has different moments, different key moments. Finishing the school, finding a new job, getting married. These are key turning moments in our life that we always need to put in our head and in our mind while we are going through our life. We need to put in our minds these important and key moments, life-changing moments. And we need to always remember that the death is close. What if I die today? What if I die now? Our beloved Amir al-Mu'mineen says it beautifully. Plan for the hereafter as if you are dying tomorrow. And plan for this life as if you are living forever. So always put death in your mind, that whatever step you are taking might be ended now by death, but have hope also that you need to have a long-term plan, that you need to plan in a way that you are as if you are living forever. Also, don't forget when you're planning your goal that there are very important people and key people that are going to help you, they're going to support you, that they live around you also. You should not ignore them. Your friends, your family members, your mentors, your teachers, your guides. These are key people that they need to be involved in this plan and this end in this end goal in your life. Because without them, without this help and support, you'll face more and more struggles. Why should we go through the mistakes of others? What should we benefit from the elders is actually not to go through their experience again, but to learn from it and bypass it. I measure my success when I'm at the age of 20 or 40 or 60. My father at the same age, and my mentor at the same age, and my guide at the same age, who were older than me. Am I the same or I am better? Because if I am the same, I did not learn anything from them. But if I am better, in a sense, I did not go through the same mistakes, I bypassed the mistakes that they have done, better in that sense, then there's a progress. Yes, I will have my own mistakes. I will have my own problems that also I'm going to take and pass it to my children, pass it to my mentees, and pass it to my friends who might be younger than me so they don't go through the same problem. We always need to have that end goal in our mind. See, brothers and sisters, as we are commemorating the martyrdom of our beloved Imam al-Hassan alayhi salam, we remember when he had to sign the treaty that many believers and faithfuls, they give up on our beloved Imam. They thought that the Imam hit a roadblock, that the Imam did not achieve what he must achieve as the Imam of his time, to take the governance and rule. They did not realize that the Imam, his goal is a long-term goal. His goal is to protect the faith and protect the believers. His goal is to prepare for the next Imam and the Imams after him. But despite the treaty that the Imam had signed, they were not able to tolerate his existence, because the mere existence of the Imam, just his existence amongst the people, was a threat for the oppressors of the time. So believers, they say, the oppressors of the time, through the wife of our beloved Imam Hassan, her name was Ja'da, they were able to pass the poison to our beloved Imam Hassan. They say after a few days, when the poison took over the body of our beloved Imam, when he was sick, laying down, wasn't able to move, he asked his household to take him outside in the yard. They moved the Imam, barely able to move because of the poison. Our beloved Imam, he raised his hand to the sky, praying to Allah, Allahumma inni ahtasibu indaka nafsi. Oh Allah, I give my soul and myself for you. فإنها عز الأنفس علي, as it's my own soul, the most valuable thing that I have. لم أصب بمثلها. اللهم آنس صرعتي. Oh Allah, be with me at these last moments of death. وآنس في القبر وحدتي, and be with me when I am all lonely in the grave. Oh believers, they say our beloved Imam, as the poison took over him, he started vomiting blood. They say our beloved Imam Hussein was next to him. He was preparing him for his last moments. Oh believers, they say our beloved Imam Hassan, directing towards the Qibla in the last moment, saying the Shahadatain, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. The soul of our beloved Imam departed. They say the people of Medina, they came from all over for the tashyi' and the funeral of our beloved Imam Hassan. It has been narrated that it was so crowded that even a needle wasn't able to go on the ground because of the people taking the funeral and the janazah of our beloved Imam Hassan. Oh beloved Imam, now you have the believers in your tashyi' coming all to take your janazah and your funeral. Who had your brother Hussein in the day of Ashura? He was all alone in the land of Karbala. Ala min nasirin yansuruna, ala min mu'inin yu'inuna. Our beloved Imam Hussein, when he was murdered in the land of Karbala, they say his body was all alone, nothing to cover the body, no kafan, and no one to take him to his grave, laying in the land of Karbala. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا رسول الله. السلام عليك يا نبي الله. السلام عليك أيها البشير النذير والسراج المنير. السلام عليك وعلى علي أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك وعلى ابنتك الصديقة الطاهرة فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين. السلام عليك وعلى ولديك السبطين الشهيدين الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة. السلام عليك وعلى الآئمة المعصومين. السلام عليك وعلى أهل بيتك الطاهرين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله. السلام عليك أيها الشهيد وابن الشهيد. السلام عليك أيها المظلوم وابن المظلوم. السلام عليك وعلى جدك وأبيك. السلام عليك وعلى أمك وأخيك. السلام عليك وعلى الآئمة المعصومين من ذريتك وبنيك. السلام عليك وعلى المستشهدين بين يديك. السلام عليك وعلى أخيك أبي الفضل العباس. السلام عليك وعلى أختك زينب ابنة أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك وعلى أهل بيتك الطاهرين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا غريب الغرباء. السلام عليك يا بعيد المدى أيها السلطان يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن موسى الرضا. السلام عليك وعلى آبائك وأبنائك. السلام عليك وعلى أختك المعصومة الطاهرة. السلام عليك وعلى أهل بيتك الطاهرين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا صاحب العصر والزمان. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن وخليفة الرحمن وإمامي وإمام الإنس والجان. عجل الله تعالى لك الفرج وسهل الله لك المخرج وجعلنا الله من أنصارك وأعوانك والذابين تحت لوائك والمستشهدين بين يديك. والسلام عليكم ساداتي وموالي أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ورحمة الله وبركاته. والفاتحة مع الصلوات.